Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Natalie Candela, hypnotherapist and a transformation coach. And on my channel, I talk about hypnosis, transformation, and spiritual awakening. So today I thought I'd talk to you about defensiveness. Do you ever find yourself feeling like you need to stand up for yourself, that you've been unjustly accused, or somebody has an opinion about you that's not right, or somebody accuses you of something, or you think that somebody's accusing you just in the tone of voice that they use, or maybe the way they present the information or the facts about the situation that you think the facts are incorrect. And so you feel that you need to really set the record straight, and you need to straighten out the person and their opinion of you or their opinion of the situation. So a lot of us quite often get defensive about situations, especially when we feel that the view of our actions or the understanding of where we're coming from with the way that we responded to something is just misconstrued or unjust. And so I started thinking about what causes us to become defensive. Well, on the surface, it seems like, well, that's just the right thing to do. You know, if we've been misrepresented, or if the information that we gave to someone has been misconstrued, wouldn't it be the only right thing to do? And yet there are people who don't respond with a defensive sort of attitude or stance. They kind of just let things go, and they are not really bothered by other people misunderstanding or misrepresenting things. So I get a lot of information intuitively. I'm not, just as a disclaimer, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not professionally trained as a psychologist. So the information that I have is through my spiritual work and through the intuitive information that I get. So what I received one day was that, you know, the reason we are defensive is because of our need for love and acceptance, and our very deeply ingrained belief that there is a limited amount and limited access to love and acceptance. And so we have to carve out our space within the universe to get access to it, to be accepted, to be loved. Well, who would be loved and accepted? Typically those that are good. You know, you're loved because you deserve it. You're accepted because you're worth it. So it is our sort of deep internal belief that in order for us to receive love and acceptance from the community, from our family, from, just in very abstract terms, from the universe, from life, we have to be just good enough. We have to be just right to deserve it, to be worthy of it. Well, when somebody misunderstands us, when somebody misconstrues what we represent, when somebody presents us in the light that we don't like, it directly endangers our ability to appear good and worthy. And so it kind of threatens, you know, subconsciously, we don't consciously think through all of that, but subconsciously it threatens our chances of getting the love and acceptance that we so crave. And so we begin to fight for it because we feel it's like a fight and flight response. We feel it's a life and death situation, and so we have to fight for that place under the sun, for that warmth of the sun, for that acceptance of the community, We have to prove that we are good enough. We have to show that we're worthy so that we can receive the love and acceptance that we want. And so we then stand up and we begin to defend ourselves. And so it makes sense when we do that, if we think about it in those terms. And if we also understand that what's behind our need to be defensive is our deep need for love and acceptance and our deep belief that we may not earn it or we may not have access to it. But what if we changed our internal subconscious beliefs? What if we actually understood that we don't have to fight for anything? That there is an unlimited amount of love and acceptance. Now, maybe not, with certain humans have somewhat a limited capacity sometimes of expressing positive, loving feelings and emotions. But in terms of just universal love and acceptance, there is an unlimited amount, and we don't have to fight for it. And we don't have to be worthy of it. We don't have to deserve it, because we already are worthy and we fully deserve it, and it's already given to us. We just have to acknowledge that it's ours. So imagine if you were in a place where you knew that you were so dearly loved, that you were so completely accepted. Just stay with that feeling, realization for a moment. And you may notice a shift within you. There may be like your shoulders might relax a little bit. There may be tension that leaves you. You might breathe a little bit calmer or deeper. In other words, when we accept that we don't have to fight for love, that we are just loved, we're accepted, and it's okay, we don't have to prove ourselves, we relax. And when we relax, then we are no longer so concerned about sort of going to war to defend ourselves. What we understand then is that when someone misunderstands us and misrepresents what we said, it often reflects their own worldview, their own limitations and understanding, their own fears, their own issues that they're dealing with. It actually has nothing to do with us. It does not reflect, it does not state that we are unworthy because of their misinterpretation. It simply says that their worldview tells them what they're seeing. So the shift, in fact, is within ourselves. And once we just begin to accept that we don't have to fight for that piece of love and acceptance, that there is not a limited amount of pieces of the pie, there is just love. That's all there is, and it's there, and it's ours, and it's given to us already. Then we begin to relax, and with that, we will begin to have less need to defend ourselves, and so we will begin to be more at peace with ourselves and less defensive in response to other people's interpretation of the world. And so how do we then become less defensive? Well, we begin to look for that peace within ourselves. We begin to shift our own internal perspective. First of all, to understand kind of where we are in relation to love and acceptance. And part of it is really our own self-acceptance, because often we expect others to love us because we don't love ourselves. So we want others to extend to us the courtesy of understanding, the courtesy of accepting, the courtesy of love. And we expect that, and we need that so much because we don't give that courtesy to ourselves. And so when they don't give it to us, then we go to war, and fight for it. But all of it, if we backtrack, it all starts with us. If we just breathe out and relax and decide, you know what, I don't need to go to war because I am already loved. There's a lot of work that we need to do sometimes to just learn to accept ourselves. So many people walk around being incredibly critical and judgmental, and not even of the world, but of themselves. And so there's a little bit of a process to help people learn to be more accepting of themselves and to truly accept the different parts of us, because there are kind of different parts of us that exist. There are different parts of us, of ourselves, that we show to the world. Sometimes when we have traumatic events, we leave parts of ourselves behind. And so there is, part of the healing is sometimes calling back that part of yourself and reintegrating that into your experience. We also grab onto parts of others that are not ours, and we carry them on our backs for many years. And so there is part of it is releasing the stuff that doesn't belong to us, that we took from somebody else. And so there is a lot of rebalancing and clearing and maybe filtering out and purifying of not only energetically, but also conceptually, the ideas that we carry around about who we are, how we fit into the world, what is this world really about. But once we do that work, then it really shifts our perspective, and it makes it so much easier to just know that we're okay. And we don't have to jump up and defend ourselves all the time, because we know internally there is nobody we have to fight the war with, that we're already loved and accepted. It's all good. So I love doing this kind of work with my clients. I love helping them understand really how beautiful and powerful and precious they are, and that they're already part of this world, and they're an important part of it, because many of my clients come in feeling that they don't fit in. There is not enough space for them. And so there's this need to look for acceptance and look for love. And so that's a powerful transformation process that many of them experience. So I hope you found this information helpful. I hope it helps you a little bit to understand, to gain a perspective at least on if you experience defensiveness sometimes, where it comes from and what's behind it, and kind of what kind of things you can do to shift that and make it easier for yourself to go through life. So if you enjoyed this video, please click on thumbs up, click on subscribe and the bell so you can be informed of the future videos. And also leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. Thank you very much.